はい、どうも、こんばんは、VeM君です。あ、ちょっと待って、画面が出てね。あ、画面出てますでしょうか。ちょっと待って、画面出てますかね。あ、出てますね。大丈夫かな。はい。はい、改めまして、どうも、こんばんは、VeM君です。さあ、本日なんですが、いつもだったらですね、遊戯王レガシー・オブ・ザ・デュエリストの配信をしてるんですが、ちょっと今回、ちょっとインターネット上で気になるゲームソフトを見つけまして、こちらですね、シャーロック・ホームズ、クライムパニッシュというゲームなんですけど、これがですね、エピックゲームスというサイトっていうのかな、ちょっと、なんだろう、サイトって言えばいいのかな、ゲーム配信でゲームを販売する場所があるんですけど、そこでですね、これをゲームソフト見つけまして、でちょっと面白そうだなと思って、でこれ今無料、17日までかな、17日まで無料でこのゲームできるんで、まあいい機会だな、ちょっともしね、まあ今ご自宅にいる機会が多いと思うので、興味ある方ぜひともやってみたら欲しいなと思って、で僕もちょっと今回初めて、ちょっとさっき動作確認でちょっとなんですけど、初めてやるゲームなので、一緒にねちょっと楽しんでいこうかな、楽しんでいけたらなと思います。ちょっと謎解き系のゲームだと思うので、なんだ、意味がここで見ちゃって、謎解きだと意味ないかもしれないんですけど、ネタバレしちゃって意味ないかもしれないんですけど、でもちょっとめんどくさいなっていったこの可能性を楽しんでいただけたらなと思います。でもこのゲーム多分さっきちょっとその動作確認でやってみたんですけど、なんだろう、操作自体は全然難しくないし、で僕は今回ゲームパッド使いますけど、普通にキーボードマウス操作もできるんで、別にゲーミング PC じゃなくて普通の PC でもできるのは、容量確か9ギガぐらいかな、確か9ギガぐらいでできると思うんで、さあやっていきましょう。一応彼がで、僕が操作しているのが、一応ワトソンですね。でこれ、ちょっと移動しながら、まずオープニングということで、まず操作の説明。操作するんですけど、そんなにやることないので、本当にこれ移動するだけなんです。今移動するだけなんで、今は。なんかさ、映画でもこんな感じでしなかったっけ？ロバート・ダーニー・ジュニアとジュード・ローのやつの方のシャーロック・ホームズ、そんな描写なかったかな。俺もあんまり覚えないけど、だいぶ前か結構見た。
And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
なんかやったの？やけん。今こうやって人が上がってきてる音が聞こえるやつ。これをなんか音を聞いただけで誰が来たか推測できる。
What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
はい、OK。まあ、ここから、操作パート、操作パートじゃない、操作パートですね。で、ここで、ボタンを押して、これのリーが、まず調べる。ブラックピーターという人間が、まあ、ちょっと殺されたということで、それで今から木こりのリーというところに向かいます。木こりのリーはここですね。で、これが、ピーター・ケアリーはブラックピーターとして知られていた。1845年生まれたということで、彼は50歳だと言えるスカンジナビでの捕鯨業で大成功だった。1880人に対して木こりのリーをしている。という、まあ、で、まずは着替えましょうかね。まあ、なんだろう。普通の普段着か。普通の普段着で、一応化粧台に置くことできるんですけど、まあちょっと基本的に全部まだロックかかってるので、選べないですね。このままでいいか。はい、じゃあ、こんな感じ、この格好でいきましょう。まあいろいろ見られるんですけど。
My archive. I can always consult with
こんな感じで調べることもできる。
it. This is where I keep my post.
まずは現場に行ってみないことには進まないので、やりましょう。いろいろ自分のこうやって事件簿のノートをチェックしたり、あとは事件簿をおさらいしたり、さあ、ロードが終わったので行きましょう。
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
さあ、ここが今回の舞台の木こりのリーですね。で、ここで、こういう感じでですね、ちょっと今回ゲームパッドでの説明になりますが、RB ボタンを押すと、集中モードになって、いろいろ怪しいものを見つけたりとかできるわけですね。
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
庭の方を調べる。で、まずここで先ほどの刑事のところに向かって、
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Homes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
じゃあここで一つ聞いていきましょう。
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open,
あそこの小屋が
but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked
らしい
it.
ですね。
At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
ここで一応なんかその怪しい部分があればちょっと見て多分見れるんでしょうね。少しちょっと見てみましょうかね。カメよカメよカメよってなんだ。カトリックのザリオ、カトリック教徒だということですね。園芸用手袋にカンディガラってなんだ。あとこれか。これは鳥小屋と。
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
ちょっと怪しいですね。
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだ。俺がちゃんと読んでなかったのか。プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだ。プリマスってなんだよ。夫がどうこうって言ってた今。確か。サンディングコンポステーラープリマスってプリマスってなんだい。プリマスとはなんだい。プリマスとは何なんだい一体。巡礼ってやつ見てみる。
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
むずい。そういうことか。
Thank you, madam.
なんだろう。地名っていうか地形、なんて言うんだろう。そういうことにも注目しなきゃいけないのか。結構むずいね、そう考えると。ここは入れんの？入れてくれんの？
Mr. Holmes?
入れてくれなそうだね。じゃあ、その殺害現場というのにちょっと行ってみましょうか。
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
これ緑ランパ意味がないのかな、多分。
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin.
じゃあ中入ってみましょう。
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, Good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
どれどれ、ちょっと調べてみましょう。本当だ、ちょっと鍵をめちゃめちゃいじった跡があるけど、何も反応はしないんだけど、これはいいのかな。
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin.
Mr. Holmes?
なんか見つかんのかな。特に何も見つかんねえな。何かあんのかな。ちょっと待って、これ結構あれだね。まあ、引っかき傷。あ、出た。
These scratches are fresh.
新しい。
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Now, a mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
さあ、果たして誰が開けようとしたのか。まあ、多分犯人でしょうけど。
What a terrible way to
すげえ
die.
槍がぶっ刺さってんのかな。まあ、ちょっと周りを見て調べてみましょう。
This place is not covered with dust,
なん
like
か
the
置い
rest
てあ
of
っ
the
た
shelf.
跡がありますか。
An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
箱が何かここに置いてあったですね。
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably
あ、
from one
捕
of
鯨の仕
Peter
事をしてみ
Carey's
たいですから
catches.
ね。こんな感じで一通り調べ終わったら離れちゃうんですね。
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
箱の中にはこれといった怪しいものはないか。
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting.
特にこれといって怪しい部分はすごい。
Harpoons for hunting whales.
これが多分凶器になったっぽいけど。
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
さあちょっと調べてみよう。おお。
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
結構強烈だね。男では男じゃなきゃ無理じゃない？どれ？だいぶ血塗られてますね。
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. JHN are probably the
つま
initials
りこ
of
れ
the
はこの
owner of this
被
notebook.
害者のやつじゃなくて、多分他の何者かが持ってたものって、その犯人
These
が持ってたもの。
abbreviations mean something, but what?
これ頭使うな。このナイフは何なんだろう。
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
これはだから被害者が持ってたものということのようですね。
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
ああ、そういうことか。こうだ。こうやって多分回転させてって、一つの形にしろってことか。なるほどね。多分これ、こう、いやー、これむずいね。多分これ全部の形が合わなきゃいけないから、多分こうかな。これで、こう、多分この辺りだと思う。で、これが、こうで、多分これでぴったり合う場所が、ここら辺かな。この辺りっぽいんだよね。むずいな。こうで、こうで、あったあった。
Yes.
こうですね。
This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
さあ、他に何か怪しいところは？
Someone drank from this glass recently. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
で、グラスが2つあるということは誰かと飲んでたって可能性もあるかもしれないですね。地図か。
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
これ調べ終わっちゃったのかな、これは。
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Mr. Holmes?
これなんだろう、Yボタンでアイテム。これを使うと、ああ、推理を組み立てていくのか。それは何か、あれそれ何か可能しているのかもしれないと。 これ多分その推理を組み立てるみたいな感じっぽいですね。何が何だかさっぱりわからん。
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
何が何だかさっぱりわからんまだ。これなんだろうね。興味ある対象物いないのかな。でも殺害現場をもう一通り見ちゃったからな。これは別に書けないのか。ちょっとじゃあ他のとこ調べてみようか。まだ入れない。なんか聞いてみる。他にもなんか増えたかな、聞けること。
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long
吸
time.
ってない。
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
ああ、それが盗まれた箱っぽいね。
Thank you, madam.
なるほどなるほど。だからそこに何かヒントというか何かがあったかもしれないですね。ここ入れないのかな。はいね。さっきのやつもくれ。手帳とあれがなんか関係あったっぽいね。今晩誰か忘れてます。私物を受け取る必要がある。なるほど。あ、そっか、さっきのあれよね。
Someone was here yesterday.
そうだよね。
They
何かを
attempted
取ろ
to
うと
force the
こ
door
じ開
to
け
gain
こじ
entry.
開けとしてきたわけだからね。それをもう一回やってみる。それをちょっとか待ち伏せを準備すると。使い道を見つける。使い道？待ち伏せの準備をするっていうのは何をしたらいいんだろうね。さっきのとりあえず警官と話してみる。
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why return tonight,
さっき
when they
拾
will
っ
be
たあれ
better
か。メモ
prepared?
帳がもしかしてその犯人のものだってことか。
So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
近くの小屋ってのはこれかい？さあ、ちょっと待ち伏せの準備は待ち伏せの準備はするということになったが、
We We need to find a good place for an ambush.
キャリーの
Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
小屋の裏、あそこか。ここかな。入れんのかな。入れないけど、あれどこだ。どこだろう。窓がある場所でしょ。外出んのかな。
Mr. Holmes?
違うね、ベーカーストリート持っちゃうもんね。あれどこだろう。あれなんかこんなの来そうになった。あ、そっか、これか。あ、そういうことね。あ、
These
ブー
boots
ツの足
don't
跡一致
match
しない
the footprints. These footprints appear to be quite large.
別の人の足跡、別の、これは犯人の足跡っていうことですね。全然気づかなかった。
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Mr. Holmes?
あ、もしかあれだな、奥さんに聞かなきゃいけないのか。あそこ使っていいかってみたいな。
Who could do such a thing?
そういうわけではないと。
Poor husband.
ここだよね、多分。適した場所って。違うのかな。おっと、早速詰まったぞ。どうしていいのかわからなかった。なんか調べてないもんあったっけ、まだ。もう一通り調べたよね。
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
どこだ。小屋の近くで窓がある場所ってあそこしかないけどね。ここは入れないもんね。ここなんなんだろう。この中すんげえ気になるんだけど。
Mr. Holmes?
それしか言われねえな。やばい、どうしたらいいのかわからなかった。あれが出ないからここ入れないんだろうけど、めっちゃ虫が飛んでる。マジどうしたらいいんだこれ。あ、なんかあった。ちょっと待って。
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
一旦ベーカーストリートに戻るのかな。
I cannot leave yet.
違うよね。
I am not finished here.
どうしたらいいかな。
These footprints appear to be quite large.
ここに当てはめるためのブーツを多分探すっていうのが、これ今じゃできないよね。多分今それらしきもんないもんな。
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps.
Mr. Holmes?
ブーツだって他になかったのに。
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here.
これさっきの見たやつだもんね。どうしたらいいんだろう。マジで積んだんだけどどうしたらいいんでしょうこれ。どっかまあ場所はあるんだろうけどさ、隠れられる場所みたいな。どこよ。どこにあるんだろう。窓の近くで待ち伏せてたけど。あ、ここか。
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
家の中かと思った。裏で待てってことか。
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
あれこれもあっさり意外と解決しちゃうのかなこれ。おっともう解決かな。
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
「Mr. Holmes? Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
管庫に取れると自費保管庫
Locked.
ここは違うここかないや子供でもあっちっすよあっちっすよ霊安室っていうか解剖室っていうのかな絶対違うよちょっと待って多分ここは関係なさそうだね何言ってんだろうこっちは拘置所っぽいねここは取り調べ室か違うな彼の所持品を見たいんだな
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something.
何かこれを解読できる何かを持たなきゃいけないね。
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials JHN. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
R. Dawson って誰だっけ思い出した。書庫で検索する。書庫で検索するっていうのはなんだあそこに戻らないといけないのか。あれから多分家でもう一回探し直しって感じかなあれは。さあ、じゃあこちらですね。
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. it is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go! I'm innocent!
ジョン・ポプレネリーが彼か。で、この指輪について、まあ、後々調べてみる。さあ、じゃあちょっと組み立ててみる。ピーター・キャリアとかさ、紙貼りで輪作学校、庭師はいない。どれが組んでたんだ。これも違う。これは組み合わないな。これも組み合わない。組み合ったね。未熟で訓練などを完全に、いや、盛岡なんですけど、完全に確かめる必要がある。
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
ワトソンがかわいそうだな。じゃあ一旦ベイカーストリートに戻るのか、事務所かな、事務所に戻るっぽいですね。でちょうどショップに行って、あれはなんだっけ、やんだっけ、あ、まだ組み合わせられるっぽいね。あ、もうトイックができたよ。手帳の回収。まあ、そうだろうね。さあ、書庫を開きたいんだけど、これか。どれどれR 動作から分かったのであれば R 動作についてちょっとジョシュア・ネリガーこのジョシュア・ネリガンって人が
Here it is.
この R 動作って人のパート
Now
ナ
I
ー
begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
このドーソン&ネリガンが倒産した敵と関わってそうだと。ちょっとワトソン君に協力してもらいましょうか。
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible, but if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
とりあえず肉屋に行ってもらって、なんだっけ、肉をもらうと
need to take a harpoon with me.
森持ってくの？じゃあ一旦木こりのリーに行って森を借りてくるってことか。推理なんかできんのかな今。どこに？さあじゃあとりあえず森持ってくるか。
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
普通にこれ撮影現場からこんなの持ち出していいのかな。じゃあこれで肉屋に行って実験ができるとか。もうできてるし準備できてんじゃん。
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
まあどうだろう。うわむずっ。むずっ。これちょっとうまく絶対狙えない。あ、むずっ。
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
発動していない。何あのターゲットのとこ当てなきゃいけないの絶対。むずくね
Holmes,
え
you
か。
should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
あ、くそ、全然ダメだ。むずっこれ。あ、惜しい。惜しいけど。
The harpoon has struck the body.
むずくねえかこれ。あ、いた。オッケー。貫通はするってことだね。
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
さあ、また何か一つ。この必要な力だとこの壁に貼り付いてる。そうだよね。あ、多分2人の犯人がいたか、もしくはなんだ、まあ運が良かったかってことになる。さあ、次はどうしたらいいだろう。ネリガンについてもうちょっと調べた方がいいのかな、多分。ちょっとネリガンに聞いてみましょう。さあ、一旦警察署に戻ってきて、またそのネリガンに話を聞いてみましょうか。
have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
さっき、そこにあれです。部屋にあった交換日誌ですね。あれがちょっと何か鍵を握ってるかもしれない。だから興味があるものみたいな気が多分出たんですね。
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
船長がピーター・キッド。
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
なるほど。とりあえずこの PCR ってのが何なのかは知らないけど。ナノリを探すってことかい？ウィギンズって人を探さなきゃいけないね、多分。この PCR っていうのはなんだっけ？ PCR ってなんだっけ？どっかにあったっけ？記憶にねえんだけど。
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
ではちょっと時間の方がね、ちょうど1時間経ったので、ここで一旦今日は休止し、今日はここまでにしたいと思います。で、明日が、動画投稿ですね。明日は普通に動画投稿があります。で、明後日また生放送やります。ちょっと、このゲームの続きかな、やるとは思います。で、ごめんなさい、ちょっと今気づいたんですけど、だいぶ画面カクつきがあるみたいな、ちょっとそれなんか次回直せるようにしますので、ちゃんとまたなんとかやります。待って、最後戻っていく。これ保存ってどうやるんだろう。多分保存できてんのかな。多分保存できてると思うので。はい。じゃあ、今日はここまでにしたいと思います。最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。ではまた、あさってですね。あさっての放送を、で、またお会いしましょう。ありがとうございました。